Hello, hello. Welcome back to Math Made Possible. I believe I can. I am your teacher, Miss Howard, and we're going to be reviewing for our quiz today. So we're going to be looking at Unit 6, Lessons 9 through 15. All right, so our first one here that you'll have to solve is 2 6/10 minus 1 9/10. So first thing that I tell my students, always line up your numbers vertically so you can be able to solve it. Minus 1 9/25. Okay, and now we're going to subtract our whole numbers first. 2 minus 1 equals 2. 2 minus 1 equals 1. But guess what? We have fractions here without like denominators, right? And with this one, I'm actually going to go over here because yes, I could multiply 10 times 25, but that would give me a big value. That would be 250, right? But let's just go ahead over to our T-chart and use our other strategy and see if we could come up with a common denominator. All right, so I'm going to count by 25. I'll write 25. 25 times 1 equals 25, and 25 times 2 equals 50. Ooh, that ends in 0. I know if I count by 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, I will get to a common denominator of 50. So my common denominator that I'm going to choose is going to be 50. All right. Now, how do I get from 10 to 50? Well, I know that I multiply times 5. Whatever I do at the bottom, I also do at the top. And I know that 6 times 5, that equals 30. And down here, I know that in order to get, let's go right here, we have to get a common denominator of 50. Well, what did I multiply times 25 to get 50? And if we look at our T-chart, that would be 1, 2. So 25 times 2. And whatever I do at the bottom, I also do at the top. So I can make my equivalent fractions. 9 times 2 equals 18. Now I do have enough up here to subtract, so I don't need to split up the 1 or break it up like I've done before in previous videos. So I'm just going to go ahead, change my color here, write the subtraction sign. Now I can actually see. Keep in mind that whenever we're adding and subtracting fractions, our denominator always remains the same after we make our like denominators. Okay? So we keep that as 50. But I have a 0 in this 1's place, but I can't subtract 8 from 1. So I'm just going to unbundle from this 3, and that becomes 2, and that's 0 becomes 10. Now I go through just like I'm doing regular standard algorithm. 10 minus 8, I know that's 2. And 2 minus 1, I know that is 1. So my final answer here would be 1 and 12 over 50. Next one. All right, I want you to try this one on your own. Remember, this is review for the test. So as you can see with the first one, I did the harder one for you. Subtraction. We made our like units, then we found equivalent fractions, and then in this case we're going to add. So go ahead and solve that, and then talk to your parent to see if you came up with the right answer. All right, now I'm not going to go over this question Just go ahead and answer it on your own. I just did a video on that. If you have not seen that, that's taken from the lesson 12 video, 12B, the second video that we did in the series. So go ahead and take a look at that. After you answer this question, double check your work with that video. Now here's an interesting one. All right, so this one says, what is the difference between the greatest number of cups and the least number of cups of blueberries? You like blueberries, right? Yeah, I like them. I do. But guess what? I have this, and this number line is not completely filled out. So hopefully you should remember how to identify what each one represents. Okay, so let's continue. I had to take a call. All right, so we're going to go through and figure out, well, what do these ticks actually mean? Hopefully you remember from previous lessons, in order to identify what the ticks actually represent, all we do is count between 0 and 1, count the ticks in between 0 and 1. How many ticks will you, or how many jumps will you need to do to get from 0 to 1? So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means this is partitioned into eighths. So let's go ahead and erase that. Now that we know that this is eighths, so this is basically 0 over 8. And we know that anytime we have 1, what would we write? That would be 8 over 8. I'm going to go ahead and erase my jumps just so I can make this a little clearer. And I'm just going to identify the spots where I have my X's. I'm going to just do an imaginary line. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4/8. And our next one is 5/8. And I'm going to actually put that up here so I don't run out of space. 5/8. And again, we know that 1 is equal to 8 over 8. And all we're doing is we're just going to continue to count. And then this would be 9/8. I don't have anything here at 10/8, but I have 11/8. 12/8. We have nothing at 13/8, but we do at 14/8. We have nothing at 15, 16, 17/8. All right, so now that we've identified our ticks, let's go ahead and take a look at our questions that we have to answer. What is the difference between the greatest number of cups and the least number of cups of blueberries? Well, let's find out. First of all, if we look at right here, that's a 0. And then we move towards the right, that's where we will have our greatest number. I need you to always remember that you have to identify how your number line is written. Sometimes the people who are giving you the test will try and trick you, and they'll switch the numbers around. So you have to be able to identify what is this asking you, where are the numbers located, and what is it partitioned into, because sometimes there could be a 0 at the beginning and then a 1 at the end. So just be mindful of that when you're solving this. So I've already labeled my number line, so I'm just going to write my fractions. 17/8 is my greatest number, and it says my least number, so let's underline that. My least number and my greatest number. Well, my least number is not 0 because we don't have anything for 0, but we do have 4/8. Why does this look like 4/4? Let's make that look like an 8. Okay, minus 4/8. Now again, we are going to subtract. Just go ahead and do 7 minus 4. That equals 3. And we still have a 10. So that would be 13/8. And if we want, we can go ahead and convert that into a mixed number. But just know that you might see it as an answer of 13/8 on the test or a mixed number. And so we ask ourselves, how many groups of 8 can I make in 13? That will be 1. And then we do 13 minus 8. I know I'm writing a little bit sloppy. That'll be 1 and 5/8. All right, how many days? Let me go ahead and change my color. Oh, I don't want blue either. Let's do green. Ooh, orange. How many days did Lynn pick more than 1 1/2 cup of blueberry? Well, in order to find that, I don't have a 2 on my chart, but what would represent 1 1/2? Well, let's take a look at this. If I know that 8/8 equals 1, and I move over we're going to count over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That would be this spot right here. That would represent 1 1/2. So what that basically tells me is I'm not counting anything before 1 1/2. Okay? I am going to make this so that my answer would be 2. Well, nope. I just count these 3 X's right here. So it says more than 1 1/2, not 1 1/2 and more. It just says more than 1 1/2. That means it has to be greater than 1 1/2. So that would be 3. So she picked 3. Excuse me. She how many days? She picked 3 more days. 3 more days. Okay, now we're already going to go over this in class, but hopefully you understand this. When we do this lesson, we're going to go over I have another video with number lines so that you can see how to solve number lines. So I hope you'll understand this better. I do thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Go ahead and watch all of these videos so that you can be able to be prepared for the test. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.